Hello, everybody. It's another one quite brief. I've never said this. I've never even said this out loud. So this might be the stupidest idea I've looked at, especially to do with if you. By the way, if you're looking at anything to do with philosophy, and you honestly you want to sack that off the, you want to get rid of it. Please don't watch because it'll be a waste of everyone's time. But I'd be interested what other people think, and it might be because I've got just my brain should start working now. But if, or it might be other reasons. But I'm just practicing things to think about, and one of them I've said something. The difficulty will be to say something that's going to be short in the range of different kinds of words I'm going to be using. So it's going to be the difficulty of what you're trying to explain. This is really interesting. The interesting you're trying to say, but having loads of the skills being taken away. So, for example, I wanted to talk about doing a lot just considering the world in front of us and all of those things. But for today, one of the things I think about through conversation, and I like it anyways, is the what's the name of the guy? The philosophy begins with a P. The really super smart one. Placo. I'm close. That you'll know who I'm talking about. It's one of the old philosophers. Anyway, it'll come back to me. It's the guy who did the thing in front of the oh god, that's even harder. What's the word? In a cave, C-A-V, cave. And the idea of that he was, it's the people that are in the caved wall. So they're looking at the back wall, and that person will never ever see behind them. They'll never see beyond the I should give up and not share this with you, but I don't care. So I apologise. It doesn't matter if nobody watches this. I'm just practicing. So today's not looking great in terms of explaining things. So I apologise. I'm trying to simplify it again. The P in who's in a cave is in chains, and he watches behind him. There's a fire. And so you get to see behind him for all of his life. He'll see the shades on the back of on the end of the cave, and the idea that is all of the world that we get to see. We get to the whole thing, and you'd think that's it. That's all you've ever seen. But one day, one of the other prison, another people that were unable to see to see what was happening, they're able to slip out of it, and from that they're able to look behind, and they're able to see behind them the whole of the cave, and in order for them to see the world behind them. And just madness. Like, I can't believe it. Never even considered that there is anything beyond the cave. There's a whole other way's life behind it. You may have heard of that. You've heard this idea, and the idea is one of these has gone back out, and it gets to just see for the first time. They get to see, oh my goodness, there's an actual world. There's a world out here, and seeing things, and even just the concept of having seen anything is bonkers for anybody that hasn't seen those things. But when you return yourself back to the cave, trying to explain things to within the cave, they can't see it. Now, why is this important? Well, and plus I've added something here that I've never heard, so I might have stolen of somebody else, and then it looks like I've said something that's myself then, but it may not. Somebody else will say it. But first of all, and this is the hard thing to say into words to everybody, is the world in front of you anyway feels infinite. You know, the idea of you trying to go through something, anything exciting, anything difficult, anything, all of these things, you're just seeing even the start of what the world could be like to you. But I think so much, what I always talk about when I think about these is so much to have so much of your work, your life being thrown away, all of you. Even if you go home, let's just spend, if you spent, try not to be too, the world, it's hard to even begin to realize how important the life is in front of you. But if you step out of the cave, even if the equivalent of you is just sitting on your phone or not really thinking about things, or not really talking to people, or nobody really, if you could one day turn outside of the cave, is important. Now, the idea that I like for myself, that I've not had shared with someone, but they will have been shared with someone, I just haven't, and it's going to be crap because it's not going to mess. I know it makes a lot of sense. But what I was trying to say, and when I get a chance, I'm trying to explain the ideas to my children, or just talk about them, which is why they're so bored for them, because I'm always telling them things, or trying to wrap my head around things with them. But the thing I was going to say that never seems to be talked about, Plato. No, that's not right. The person who said the philosopher was in the first way. The thing we're never really considered is not just you either had the world, or on the back of the cave. It's everything else in between. The importance of everything today is bananas. Like there's so much of the world. So much of the world is beyond any, far from words I can talk about or anything right now. But can you imagine the importance of things? I mean, it's actually one of, what's the quote? To consider a lot of all the Marcus and Aurelius, my favourite person that I can't say every single day. But the amazing thing for him was, like, he would talk about the beauty of looking at a bread and seeing the bread just look cracked and looks beautiful. Something that sounds like, what, that seems empty, and it seems like nothing. But he was able to find the beauty of just something as empty as bread. But the spreading of that beauty is everywhere, is infinite. And oh man, it's not gonna make any sense. But there's so much of the world to be looking at. And I suppose for me, I've kind of fast forwarded to loads of these, but to anybody, any of the GBM people that get talked through any of these things, and a lot of you looking at me must be going like, "Oh, you poor thing, trying to explain things," but you must feel like that. Yeah, there's such magic and there's such beauty out there for all of us, and and some of them are enough to just make you see something you never really had to appreciate. All of those cliche things again. Yeah, I went round to things here that I thought might have made way more sense than I was hoping for, but that's as far as I'm going to get. Today, I'm just exploring some more philosophy things I'm thinking about. It's there. It's like instead of having instead of having the ability to write something like some painting or something, or making a sculpture, the skill that you've got in your body to make something, a brilliant sculpture or something like that. Now all you've got is like Lego or something. You got like 5 Legos, and you got to use them to try and explain something that's something profound, but all the skills have been taken away. So there's no painting of them. It's just Legos now. So that's what I'm practicing. So I'm sorry for those of you that listened for what will end up being 12 minutes. Please listen to the first 2 minutes and just ignore it. But yeah, thank you. I'm going to continue to practice. And if you have any explanation of any of these things, I'd love to hear them. Bye-bye.